The GC3 has two physical buttons, the Home button and the Emergency button. The Home screen displays the system status, one button arming, notifications, bookmarks, dim screen, mute panel, and the shortcut to the installer toolbox. Programming the GC3 is conducted in the installer toolbox. To begin, press the 2 gig logo. Enter the installer code 1561. To configure and test the system, the installer toolbox offers various tools. The security sensors, features, and options are programmed and configured within System Configuration. Z-Wave devices and settings are programmed and configured within Smart Home settings. Walk Test Mode tests each sensor, verifying the sensor's estimated signal strength and that each sensor is being received correctly by the GC3. Radio status displays the condition of the GSM or CDMA radio, including the signal strength. Network tests test the broadband connection. Restore defaults will default the selected sections. Disable sounder allows the sounder to be disabled for 30 minutes. After this time, the sounder will automatically be re-enabled. Begin by pressing System Configuration. System configuration is divided into 5 sections: wireless zones, wired zones, key fobs, keypads, and panel programming. Press wireless zones. The GC3 has 100 wireless zones. Select a wireless zone by scrolling through the left column. Once selected, press Edit Zone, or press one of the configuration options in the right column. Once the zone has been selected, the first programming option is the sensor type. This is how the panel reacts when the sensor is triggered. To select the sensor type, press the 2-digit number, or press the drop-down menu. In this example, Exit Entry 1 is selected. Once selected, press the down arrow, or select another option on the left. The next programming option refers to the equipment code for the sensor in use. To select the sensor type, press the 4-digit code or the drop-down menu. In this example, 2 gig thin door window contact is selected. Next, press the down arrow or select another option on the left. The following option requests the serial number. The 7-digit serial number can be found on the sensor. The serial number can also be learned in by pressing Learn on the panel, then tripping the sensor. Once the serial number has been entered, press the down arrow or select another option on the left. The next option asks for the age of the equipment. Select the appropriate option and press the down arrow or select another option on the left. The loop number determines the method with which the sensor will be tripped. The majority of 2 gig sensors have only one method, so the default is loop 1. The most common device with a second loop is the DW10 thin door window contact. Loop 1 when using a wired switch, and loop 2 when using the internal reed switch, just the sensor and a magnet. Using the correct loop number is critical for proper sensor and panel communication. Once the appropriate loop is selected, press the down arrow or select another option on the left. Here is a list of the loop numbers for various 2 gig peripherals. Note, only 2 products currently have a second or third loop: the DW10 thin door window sensor and the smoke detector. In order to use the functions of multiple loops, the sensor must be programmed in a separate zone for each loop used. The dialer delay delays the transmission of the selected RF sensor. The default is set to 30 seconds. Once the appropriate option is selected, press the down arrow or select another option on the left. To enter a voice descriptor, start typing the desired word, and a list of available options will appear. select the preferred option. To enter additional words, repeat this process. Please note there is a maximum of 5 words. To enable or disable reporting for this sensor, select the appropriate option. Once the appropriate option is selected, press the down arrow or select another option on the left. When sensor supervision is enabled, the panel will expect regular signals from the sensor. If these signals are not received, the panel will display a sensor supervisory trouble alert. Once the appropriate option is selected, press the down arrow or select another option on the left. Select a voice or chime to sound when a panel is disarmed and a sensor is tripped. Once the chime has been selected, press Next Zone or the right arrow button to program the next zone. Once the programming of wireless zones is finished, press Return to System Configuration. To program wired zones, key fobs, and keypads, press the appropriate option and follow the same procedure used for wireless zones. To configure the installer code, entry/exit delays, timer test, and more, press Panel Programming. There are multiple configuration options available under Panel Programming. The various options can be selected by pressing the Go To Question button and typing in the 2-digit question number, or by scrolling through the question numbers on the left. Once finished, press Return to System Configuration. When programming is complete, press the left arrow button. The summary screen will display all changes made. To save and exit, press the Save button. Z-Wave devices and settings are programmed and configured within Smart Home Settings. Smart Home Settings will be covered in more detail in the GC3 Smart Home Settings video. Next, press Walk Test. Here, we can verify the sensor's estimated signal strength and that each sensor is being received correctly by the GC3. Radio status displays the condition of the GSM or CDMA radio, including the signal strength. By pressing Restore Defaults, the user can default any selected sections. Pressing Disable Sounder will disable the sounder for 30 minutes. To re-enable the sounder before 30 minutes have passed, press Re-enable Sounder. For technical support and additional training, please use the information you see on screen.